All right, hey there, listeners. Welcome to the weekly training podcast for Hi-Fi Preschooling Kids. We are so excited to have you listening and joining us in today. I just got to say, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And you know what? If I'm honest, I wanted to sing that, but I won't put you under that kind of pressure because I told Crystal before we started recording, I was like, I'm going to sing it out. And then I thought, nah, they don't want to hear that. That's not a good idea. But it is the most wonderful time of the year, if you ask me. And since you did ask me, it is the most wonderful time of the year. It's Christmas, and we're so excited for Christmas. Joining me today are Crystal Mazuka, of course, and Rachel Raquel May. Welcome, ladies.
Hey, Jeremy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, so here we are. We're in December. Today, we are starting session one, not just starting a new month and a new monthly truth, but we're in session one. So our monthly ideas, what are we talking about? Well, this is the first time ever that we've done this, that I recall. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but we actually have the same themes, different art, but same themes for preschool and kids. It's the best gift ever, and it really is. Jesus is the best gift ever. And so for preschool, that's God is always with me, best gift ever. And for kids, I am never alone, best gift ever. And we look forward to hearing how those having similar themes have worked in your ministry. But that's something that we're trying out because we just love that idea of the best gift ever and tying that into the Christmas season. And God loved the world in this way that He gave. He gave us this best gift ever. And we are excited to jump into that as we talk about I'm never alone, and how that this gift that God gives us was to meet us where we are, and that He doesn't want us to be alone. He wants us to know He's right there with us at all times. And so we're jumping into that this month. Isaiah 9:6 is our verse. A child will be born for us. A son will be given. There's that gift. A son will be given to us. And we're so excited to be jumping in. This session is angels visited Mary and Joseph. And so we're looking at that for our Bible content, and God gives me strength. That's our God gives me strength is our kind of session main idea. That's what we're talking about this week. So as you already know, if you've been a frequent listener to the weekly training podcast for us, you know that we like to start out with a question. We love to for you to get to know a little bit about us. It just gives us a little bit of an opportunity to share some of the things going on in our lives. And so here's the question that I have for you this morning, ladies, this morning, afternoon, whenever it is. What Christmas prep do you enjoy more? That's the kind of, so, when I first read this question, I was already listing all the things. But here's the question. What Christmas prep do you enjoy more when you do it with others?
I would say decorating for sure. I think decorating is more fun with others. And I would also say baking. I love doing our Christmas baking, cookie making, all of that with other people. It's so much more fun than just being in the kitchen alone when you get to turn it into almost an event and hang out with people you care about and have fun prepping for Christmas.
That is really fun. I will say, I don't know that I have ever in my life baked anything for Christmas. I'm not a baker. Like, I don't bake unless I absolutely had to. But at Christmas, I know people love that. It's just never been my thing. But here's what I'll tell you. I will take all of your baked treats and enjoy them thoroughly. I just don't want to make them. Mine would also, I would say decorating, but specifically decorating the tree. I love decorating the tree with my kids because so many of our ornaments have special memories. We always buy a family ornament every single year. And so we love pulling them out, talking about when we got it, what was going on at that time. Each of the kids has like their My First Christmas ornament. And then there's just the random, I still have all those homemade ones that are like paper and craft sticks glued together. And it's just such a special time. And so I love getting to do that with my kids. I don't want to decorate anything else with them because I want to put things where I want, not where anybody else wants. So yes, decorating the tree.
The tree. Yeah. So this is not us in our family. We're kind of we enjoy the experience more than the final product when we decorate our tree. But I know people, and maybe some of our Hi-Fi ministry leaders are out there are like this, who they will have, okay, there's a tree that we decorate together, but then we're going to have the real quote unquote real tree that's decorated. That's the way everything's in its perfect little spot. We don't really do that in our family. That is something we do together. And it's really important for my wife in particular. For when we get out the totes and we go through and we kind of pull out each of the handmade ornaments from years gone by, and we talk about them and we reminisce a little bit. And so this year we're looking forward to that because it'll be our first granddaughter's first Christmas, and so that'll be fun to have a little Christmas ornament for her, no doubt. We haven't decided what it's going to be, but I'm sure she'll have one, so that'll be kind of fun. You mentioned baking and cooking, so one of the traditions we have, I think I've mentioned it on the podcast at some point and some other random time, but one of the traditions we have at our house is something that my wife and I do together, and that is we do Christmas brunch, and it's just something she and I do together. I love to cook breakfast, and so it's something that she and I do together. But one of the Christmas, and then, so this is it, and then I'll move on because there's a whole bunch of things that I like to do. I enjoy when my kids help me. I don't think any of them will ever listen to this podcast. I enjoy when they help me decorate outside, but I don't really enjoy them helping me decorate outside because I usually have to go back and redo the outside decorations. But one of the things that my kids know, it's typically a Thanksgiving to Christmas thing that my wife and I do. We will do this at least one time in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that is make homemade chocolate covered cherries. And that is just something she and I do. And it's something we won't do it separately. We only do it together. And my kids are not allowed to be involved, so they're not allowed to be in the kitchen. They're looking around the thing like, "Hey, can we have one?" No. And so, and I don't know how it got to be that, but that's just something. That is one thing that my wife do every year in the holiday season. Usually try to do it a couple of times because I love chocolate covered cherries. In fact, I saw some at the store the other day and I almost bought some just to get me in that Christmas mood. But I didn't. But we love to make homemade chocolate covered cherries. It's one of our favorite things to do. It's one of my favorite things to do that just my wife and I do together.
That's really sweet.
So that's very fun. Well, talking about doing things together and not being alone, because we can talk about things that are alone. They're great Christmas traditions that are okay to celebrate and alone to be alone. But celebrating with family, with friends are great opportunities during the Christmas season. We know that those memories that we're making are really, really wonderful. But as we think about this best gift ever that God has given us, it's really, He gives us this. Again, I mentioned earlier, it's the Son will be given. That's our verse, because God wants us to know that we are never alone. And so as we start to shift, let's shift a little bit and think about that Bible content a little bit more, the session content rather. How does Chris, I'll start with you. How does understanding that God is always with us, that we're never alone, how does that deepen our understanding of this very familiar story that we hear year after year? It's one we know well, but how does that help us have a deeper understanding of the Christmas story and why Jesus came?
So you mentioned earlier, like, hey, if you've listened to this for a while, you probably know that we always start with a question. I also want to say, I feel like if you've listened to this podcast for a while, you know where I stand on, we want to teach beyond salvation. We want to teach beyond this. Jesus came so that you could live with God in heaven after you die. That is one of the most incredible things that we get to share, as Jesus is the best gift ever. But the thing is that best gift is not just something that we experience in the future. It is something that changes us and changes our lives right now. And I think I Am Never Alone is one of the greatest ways to connect that, because God sent His Son, Jesus, so that we could have an intimate, personal, incredible relationship with Him every single day. He is with us every single day. So I opened up the book, flipped the script to the chapter on I Am Never Alone, or the page, if you will, page 77. And it says, God promises to always be with us no matter what happens, because that is who He is. He is the God of fierce loyalty. And man, what better time to show that than through the Christmas story? Like, He cares about us so much. He wanted to have this personal relationship with us. And he went to the ultimate extreme to send God the Son, Jesus, to be born as a baby, as a person, also we could have that relationship with him because he is a personal God. He is a God who wants to be with us, who wants to walk with us through the highs and through the lows, who wants to give us guidance and wisdom. He is the God who deserves our devotion and our following and our worship every single day. And so Christmas is the perfect time to talk about the truth that God is always with us and we are never alone, because he sent Jesus for that exact reason.
Yeah. So strong. So strong. Rachel, let me shift to you. All right. Our main idea, God gives me strength. And we talk about this idea of this strength and never being alone. How does this particular story, the one about the angels who visited Mary and Joseph, how does that help kind of focus our attention on God giving us strength? And the kind of next layer is why how do we help kids and preschoolers know that it matters? And this is not just a warm and fuzzy story that we do in December, but this really matters to our faith and matters to our walk with God. How do we help them use this story to help them start to understand that?
Yeah. And I think starting with the story first and thinking about God giving Mary and then Joseph's strength as well, I think helps us kind of connect it to our lives and the lives of kids and preschoolers. But I think as you think about the story and you go through kind of the scripture and Mary hearing about Jesus coming and then Joseph finding out, and sometimes we just read it and take it at face value, but then we don't stop and think about the incredible amount of strength they would have needed to
Mm,
um, to follow God, to be faithful,
hmm.
and to not feel alone with this going on. Because Mary would have wondered, how is this going to be? How is Joseph going to react? How's my family going to react? How is my community going to react?
Hmm.
Are they going to believe what God is saying? Are they going to believe what He is doing? And instead of cowering to the fear or the unknown that was coming her way, instead she said, nothing will be impossible with God. Or
Hmm.
she was told nothing will be impossible with God. And she said, I belong to God. May everything
Hmm.
happen just as you said. God gave her such strength to believe Him, trust Him, and know He was with her and going ahead of her. And I think when we think about the strength that God gave her, in this Bible story, and then the same for Joseph to believe her and to do what God asked him to do. I think it's incredible to think about God giving us that same strength in our lives, no matter what's going on, because we don't know what our kids and preschoolers are always facing from a day to
Hmm.
day
Hmm.
perspective, and how they face lots of unknowns or even big things that are really hard to understand at their age. But we can teach them and show them that God gives them strength for whatever's coming their way, whatever they're facing or going through. He gives them the strength for that, and He leans in. He loves them, cares for them, and does not leave them alone. So
Hmm.
not only is He with them whenever they're going through something hard, or they need to trust Him, or they're unsure about what's going to happen, but He strengthens them and helps them face it. And I think it's incredible, and it's really, really comforting, especially in the Christmas season when such a wonderful time of year can be tied with also hurt and grief,
Hmm.
and just remind us that no matter what's happened, we can lean in and have strength from God.
I think it's important what you said, Rachel. We need to not forget that strength is not something we talk about at Christmas a whole lot,
Hmm.
and because I have one of my kids has she's better now, but she really I don't know why, but for many years, Christmas was just a hard season for her. She felt alone. She felt weak. She just didn't know. And here I am, celebrating, decorating, and doing all the things that I
Mr.
love to do.
Christmas.
Yeah, and I was having to be careful around her because I knew that she was carrying weight that was just heavy. And so I think us talking about strength during Christmas is very timely,
Hmm.
for us to focus that attention on it, those details of Mary. Like she was having to do this alone, yeah, Joseph was there, but she was still walking through something that really no one was walking through before her. She didn't really have,
Right.
people couldn't just say, oh, yeah, let me tell you how I handled this. Like, that didn't
Mm-hmm.
exist. And so using this opportunity to relationally connect with those kids who may be carrying baggage in
Mm-hmm.
on during our sessions, whether it's Sundays or midweeks, whenever we meet. What a great opportunity for us to connect with those kids in a new and different way, and maybe in even a way that they're not expecting during Christmas. And what an awesome opportunity for us to do that. Let's here in our last couple of minutes, let's shift our focus a little bit to the leaders, because our leaders will be carrying things in as well, and
Mm-hmm.
our leaders are going to have different levels of enthusiasm regarding Christmas. And we also know Christmas is just busy, like it's just a busy
Yeah.
time of year for us as ministry leaders. So, what does it look like for leaders to be strengthened, and how can we come alongside them in a busy season, both ministry and family and work and all of those things, and come alongside and help them, help this message of God gives me strength resonate with our leaders?
I think it's important, especially with I would say the combination of the busyness of this season, but also almost that there's a lot in this season that is the same year after year after year after year, right? Like you might be doing a Christmas program and you've got Christmas Eve at church and you've got all these things at home that you do every single year. And it can become very, very routine while also being very, very draining because you're very, very busy. I think it is so important to remember that, like, Mary and Joseph did not get through that on their own. God is the one who gave them strength to trust him, to believe, to follow. And we need to recognize the same thing. We cannot lead, we cannot love out of our own strength. We need God to do it. So I would encourage every leader listening to say in this season, take extra, extra care and time to have moments every day where you just confess your need to God and ask him for his strength, ask him for his guidance, ask him for his wisdom, for the big things, for the little things, for time management, whatever it is. But recognize that you cannot do this on your own strength. Oh, but the strength of God is incomparable, insurmountable, and will give you everything that you need. And so, yeah, just really taking the time to recognize our need for God and then asking him for that strength.
That was so good, Crystal. Such a good reminder.
Hmm.
And as you were talking, I was thinking, wow, that is such a good idea. I'm going to, even in my own life, take time to remember that and to make it a point to reflect on that every day. And it made me also think about so many times where I set unrealistic expectations for myself, for
Mm,
ministry, for my family,
hmm.
that drains me of strength and drains me of energy when those expectations aren't the expectations God is setting for me and
Yeah.
for what I should be doing, but instead they're expectations I've set for myself for either matching what someone else is doing or
Hmm.
I'm wanting something to be bigger than it needs to be. And just as you were talking about relying on God's strength, it reminded me that I need that.
Yeah.
And it's also okay to give myself permission for things to be simple, to lean
Hmm.
into that connection with the Lord and connection with people, and not necessarily set such unattainable expectations for myself and for
Yes.
leaders to set that for themselves in their ministries during
Hmm.
this time of year.
So great. Thank you both. Crystal, I don't know if you even know you said this, but I had to write a note down real fast because you said lead, listen, and love, and I think that is so helpful and very alliterative and memorable. I think that is so helpful as we lead our people. We need to listen and love them well,
Hmm.
and especially during the Christmas season when it's again all the things y'all just said, but there's so much going on. We know the
Hmm.
stories, we know the things, we know that we know all the pieces, and we just get caught up in the busyness of what's happening. That it helps us as ministry leaders to listen and love, to just pause
Hmm.
and listen and love, and that is a great way for us to lead. Thank y'all both for the great help and insight on this session. Ministry leaders, thank y'all for listening in. I hope that you are going to carve out time for yourself this Christmas season. And maybe even, not to add another thing to your plate, but maybe even have an opportunity to experience our great big Christmas game show event that we have available in advanced planning. What a great fun opportunity to provide those moments. Yes, it's another thing on the counter, but it can be a great moment to provide a little bit of reprieve for families to come and to get to know one another, and they don't have to plan a thing. They just show up, and for you to be able to do that. And so if you're able to run that event, our team would love to see and hear how that goes. So feel free to post those pictures in our Facebook group, or if you don't want to post them there, feel free to send those to us directly, or any stories from that event. Send them to our team at myhifi@lifeway.com. We'd love to hear about that Christmas event this season. So, hey, ministry leaders, we're praying for you. We know that it's busy. We've been talking about it for the whole episode here, that we know it's busy. It's a lot going on. We are praying for you this season, that as you lead, that you can listen and love to the families, the kids that you serve, the leaders that are in your ministry, and we pray that you will find an opportunity to have a little bit of downtime as well to celebrate the best gift ever. Thanks for listening. We'll catch y'all next time.